18 teams now in the Big
Mhm.
Ten, not 14 like it used to be when we predicted. Heck, used to be 12 for the longest. For
Used to
low,
be
no, we've always predicted 14 though. I
Mhm.
wasn't thinking. I was thinking we started the podcast when there was 12. We did not start it that early. But who do you have winning the Big Ten in 2024-25?
I have Purdue winning it again. I think Braden Smith will win Player of the Year.
We agree on both of those.
I put in my notes need big leaps from Colvin and Heidi, and they don't even start tonight. So what do I know? But still, I mean, they're obviously huge, important pieces.
Right.
But very, very interested to see how they look. Obviously, you don't have your 7'4" security blanket down there. They'll have
Well,
to
they got
play.
a 7'4" kid. They not built
He's
like
just not
Edie.
Zach Edey.
He's not built like Edie.
Yeah, but yeah, they'll probably look different.
Yep.
Schematically, maybe, or style, I should say.
Yep.
And though I'm intrigued by how they'll look.
Yeah, defense concerns me a little bit. That's just from the Creighton exhibition, but Creighton's another beast. I mean, Colt Burners, he ate up their young big guys, but I mean, he's a fifth-year, 23-year-old man out there. So defense concerns me a little bit, and I'm interested to see how they adjust when they're on nights they're not shooting well. Because in the past you could just feed Big Zach and he'd find a way. Now you don't have that cheat code. But they're gonna have a three-headed horse there of Braden Smith, Fletcher Lawyer, and Trey Kaufman-Renn. And then tonight, Jakari Harris, true freshman, started, and Daniel Jacobson, true freshman, started as well. Cam Heidi, Miles Colvin came off the bench. Also, true freshmen CJ Cox and Riley Burgess came off the bench, and Will Berg came off the bench, who's a redshirt sophomore. That was just from when I was watching. So, their one lone senior, Caleb First, when I was watching, hadn't been in the game yet, but they're going to go 9, 10, 11 deep.
Yeah,
most nights. So they only decided to redshirt one of their 5 incoming freshmen. That was Mr. Basketball in the state of Indiana last year, Jack Benter, who everybody kind of knew he was going to redshirt even last year. So that wasn't a surprise. But I picked Purdue, even though I have some concerns. I still think next year, as assuming they can keep everybody together, 25, 26 could be the year they really make a deep run. If you told me right now they'd be a top 5 seed in the NCAA tournament, so a top 20 team, sign me up. Sign me up in a heartbeat. See what happens from there. So.
Yeah, Painter so far has not been hit by the transfer portal at all. Like he's obviously he's built an incredible culture there of winning, and it makes it easier for guys to stick around. So yeah, they should. I mean, there's no reason to believe they'll start losing guys, so.
Yep. I mean, they're back-to-back Big Ten champs and darn near won it the year before that too. So I guess my logic is until somebody knocks them off, I'll keep picking them. So.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Who do you got finishing number 2?
This is a homer pick. I have the Illini finished in second here. They lose 13 of 15 scholarship players. Return 8% of their scoring, and this was before the news just about a half hour ago that Ty Rodgers is going to take a redshirt year, a developmental redshirt year. That's what they call it, and I would not be surprised if he did what Sincere Harris did. He redshirts and then transfers. The guy, the assistant who is really close with Tim Anderson, is no longer there. He quit a few weeks ago, about a month ago. But still, Ty Rodgers, I mean, he's not a great fit, but and he was not going to start this year, and he was going to probably play significantly less minutes than he did last year. But still, that's a guy who started every single game on an Elite Eight team, who brought toughness and maturity and leadership to the Illini. But he's no longer there. They have so many new faces, but I think top to bottom in the conference, they probably have, from a pure talent standpoint, they're probably the most talented. They have the most guys in ESPN's top 100 draft rankings. However, you have 13 new guys. How's the chemistry going to be? I was listening to a podcast with Jeff Goodman and Robbie Hummel, and Jeff said, what if I pick Illinois to win the Big Ten? And Robbie made a great point. He said, is this last year's chemistry or is this the Matt Meyer chemistry? You replace all these guys every single year, you're going to run into these issues. And I think they'll really struggle in the non-conference, especially defensively. Just 3 weeks ago, Brad Underwood said that his team couldn't guard a group of seventh graders. Then they go out in that exhibition game, and I think Ole Miss shot 7 for 10 to start the game from three. Could not get a stop. They played better from about the 10-minute mark on. They're kind of shell shocked there, but you have guys come in. You have a trio of high major transfers. You have Kylan Boswell from Arizona, who's starting point guard there. Trey White from Louisville, who was probably their best player last year on a really, really bad Louisville team, but now he's in a good situation with a good winning culture. Kerry Booth from Notre Dame, and then you add Ben Humriches from Evansville, who's a great shooter at 6'9". And then you have two European guys, Kasparis Yakushonis, butchered the name.
But I'm glad you took that one on. I looked at him like, this is a nightmare.
He's currently a projected lottery pick. He's 6'6". He will be the facilitator of the offense. Good shooter, solid athlete. And then they have Tomislav Ivisic, who was just declared eligible a few days ago by the NCAA, but the NCAA has to swing that power around, and they took a year away from him, and he's a sophomore, even though he's never played a college basketball. And then you have 5-star freshman Will Riley. So all these new faces, excited to watch them. I think, they'll really struggle defensively, and I think they'll really struggle in November and December, and maybe even lose a game they shouldn't, a bye game in a sense, which is the epitome of brutality, according to John Ross.
Oh, boy, here we
go.
But
I am betting on the talent and Brad Underwood. Brad Underwood has proven he can make adjustments and scheme changes in the middle of the season if he had to. He had to do with Kofi when he came in mid-season. Last year they did completely scrap their offense in December, and it took off. So, homer pick. I have them finishing second.
I got the Illini fourth, but honestly, on my list, you could rotate 2, 3, and 4 any day of the week, I think.
1,000%. And I originally had them at
2, 3, and 4. 2, 3, and 4. And I figured you might go number 2 with them, and I didn't want to go 1 and 2 the same. So that's why I put them there. Number 2, I'm going just off research because I'm not very familiar. UCLA is my number 2. Mick Cronin didn't have a very good season last year, but he retooled his team, and he didn't go the international route this time. He went straight from the portal. He got South Dakota State transfer William Kyle III, as well as USC transfer Kobe Johnson, power forward Eric Daly Jr. from Oklahoma State, and Tyler Bilodeau from Oregon State. And then you got newcomers Dylan Andrews and Sebastian Mack. I think they're going to be pretty good. They're going to be pretty good. It'll be interesting because they're not going to have that home court advantage probably per se, like a lot of Big Ten teams do. But I don't know. Just going a little different there for my runner-up pick.
And don't forget old friend Sky Clark. He's also on that roster.
I did forget Sky Clark because the site that I got my notes from didn't even mention him. I knew he was there, I guess, in the back of my mind. But yeah.
Ton of newcomers there. The difference between them and Illinois is they get them from the college level and from high majors too, like Oklahoma State and USC,
right?
As you said. But yeah, I have them finishing third, so we're not far off there.
So my third and your fourth is probably the same team. Indiana.
I have fourth, correct.
Indiana, I can make an argument. I know you called Illinois the most talented on paper. I'd say Indiana's right there.
No, I completely agree.
The pressure's definitely on Mike Woodson this year. He's got to produce or he's gone. I don't think there's any doubt about it. I mean, they went, they kept some of their good talent in Baku and Renew after rumors that they were going to leave. Kept Galloway and Lyle, even though they're going to be reserves off the bench, but still you need those to go away. They got Luke Goody from Illinois.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a nice shooter off the bench. They got Miles Rice, who can score. He's a bucket from Washington State, transfer point guard. They got Balo as their big boy now from Arizona. He had a good career going there. So a lot of nice pieces, it looks like on paper, but once again, how can they gel and can they make outside perimeter shots?
Yeah. They spent a ton of NIL dollars to improve roster, and they needed to. Woody was on an incredible hot seat towards the end of last year, and I think it's cooled a little bit with what they did in the portal, but they also went the multi-year route. I mean, Miles Rice was a freshman last year at Washington State, and he averaged 15 points a game. Kanan Carlisle from Stanford was also a freshman last year. He had averaged 11 points a game. And then you had Luke Goody, who's got that toughness and Big Ten experience, and hit some dang big shots for Illinois last year. especially in the Sweet 16. He had the three that eventually gave them the lead. Not gave them the lead, but he hit a three to go up 5, and then he had 2 free throws to go up 5 as well, or go up 6 in the Sweet 16 against Iowa State. So he's hit big shots. Underwood trusted him a bunch. I think I have them lower on this list because of who their head coach is. I'm not a Woody guy at all. I think he should be on an incredible hot seat.
Absolutely.
They were calling for his head late last year, and it seems like that's quieted down because of the moves they made. But guard play was terrible, and that's why they went out and got a Miles Rice and a Carlisle from Stanford. So I think they should be good. If this team can't make the NCAA tournament, even, I think Woody's gone.
Oh, absolutely. I think they at least got to make the tournament, if not maybe even win a game.
Yeah.
How weird is it though? We're talking about startup basketball season. You don't hear any talk from IU fans because they're focused on their football. Either team, IU or Notre Dame, either one they like. So, I can't say what I want to say because we got to keep this clean. Who do you got finishing 5th?
I have Oregon finishing 5th.
I got Oregon 6th.
They had a miracle run to the tourney last year, winning the Pac-12 tourney. They were not going to get in, and they ended up. I think they even won a game in the NCAA tourney.
Yeah, they won a game. Then they lost to Creighton in the second round.
That's right. Yeah, I got transfer from Toledo, Raheem Moss, who averaged 15 and 5 last year. TJ Bamba from Nova, 10 points a game last year. Supreme Cook from Georgetown, who had 10 and 8. Brandon Angel from Stanford, he had 13 and 4, 44% from 3. They should be solid. I think Dana Altman's a really good basketball coach, and
heck of a coach.
He's in a league where it gives you significantly more opportunities to win big games than it did in the Pac-12, and that's why they've been on the bubble, is they just didn't have many quad one opportunities, except if they were going on the road or something. But so they should be solid.
I think out of all the 4 newcomers in the conference, school-wise, I think they have the best home court advantage out of those 4. Yeah. And their court is still bright, but it's not going to make our eyes bleed. They did redo it this offseason, so it's not as hard to watch games out there. So, but I have the Ducks 6. At number 5, I have the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
You're higher on them than I am.
I am. It's good. I believe in these freshmen on paper. Ace Bailey and Dylan Harper. You're not going to find a collection of talented freshmen on the same team in the Big Ten like this very often. Yeah. And Pikel's done a great job there. You know they're going to be tough as nails. They always are. Jersey Mike's, a.k.a. what used to be the Rack. Not a fun place to play. I mean, they did lose a few guys. Mare's on Alabama now. But they're going to have key contributions from veteran players like Jeremiah Williams, P.J. Hayes IV, and Zach Martini. Yeah. So you got a nice mix of young and old there. Assuming the freshmen are as good as they're built up to be, I guess.
Yeah, 2 of the top 3 freshmen in the country. They did, as you said, lose Omoruyi to Alabama. Supporting cast is not that great, though. They do have a transfer, Tyson Acuff from Eastern Michigan, who averaged 21 points a game last year. But they need those freshmen to be dudes immediately. They cannot have down games from them, or they're going to really struggle. Which is why I am lower on Rutgers than most, and I have them finishing 8th in the conference.
Okay. All right. So who do you have 6th?
I have Michigan.
I got Michigan 9th.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of the same. Dusty May comes in. They got a ton of portal guys. 7-footer Danny Wolf from Yale averaged 14 points, 10 rebounds, shot 34% from 3. Then he grabbed Vlad Golden, who followed him from FAU, who's 7'1", and they say they plan to play both Wolf and Golden together at the same time. That's 2 7-footers. I don't know how they'll be able to guard anyone. Of course, you have Vlad, who's got the rim protection, but they also picked up a transfer from Ohio State, Roddy Gale Jr., who had a really good season at Ohio State. But they did lose Doug McDaniel and Terrace Reed to the portal. They need some. They need a culture change there because Juwan wasn't getting her done.
Oh, the Juwan Howard era, man! What a time.
I would even say Juwan Howard is the college basketball equivalent to Deion Sanders was at Colorado. is at Colorado.
Probably the closest thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a good comparison.
more hype than substance. Although Colorado looks halfway decent this year, but
Yeah, I hate it. It's just my college football 2024. It's just awful
it's
all
been
around.
a rough one. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's been the worst for me. But yeah, I have Michigan finishing ninth, but you kind of hit on everything I had there. So how about number 7 spot?
Who do you have finishing sixth?
Oregon.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yep.
I have Michigan State finishing seventh.
I have Sparty as well. That's yep.
Looking at their roster though, I don't even know if they'll finish top 7. I mean, they'll lose Tyson Walker.
I think we're still giving Izzo the credit because he is
too.
a legendary coach. But
yeah,
what have you done lately, Tommy?
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of lost it.
I mean, they lost their do everything guard Tyson Waugh. He didn't do everything, but he was their guy who could go get a bucket for him. And Tyson Walker, AJ Hoggard's now at Vandy. They do return Jordan Akins, Trey Holloman, Cohen Carr. They really need a Xavier Booker breakout for them to finish.
Need to play him more.
Yeah. And Izzo finally used the portal. He went out and got Frankie Fiddler from Omaha, who averaged 20 points, 6 rebounds, almost 3 assists, and he shot 35% from 3. But, going from whatever Omaha's in, are they in the Horizon or something like that league to the Big Ten could be quite the culture shock for him. So I think the name is the only reason why I have them 7th, which, again, they haven't done anything the past 3 or 4 years. So I don't even know why we're giving them that benefit of the doubt.
I guess for some reason, even though I can't stand them, felt weird putting them lower than 7th. I don't know why. I just did. But it'll be interesting up there in East Lansing. Did you already see who you had at 8?
I have Rutgers at 8.
Rutgers. I have Ohio State at 8. Where do you have them?
I have them 10th.
10th. Okay. So it'll be interesting. Jake Diebler, now the head man there.
Yeah.
He's not the interim man anymore. But he got a pair of former elite recruits, Sean Stewart from Duke and Aaron Bradshaw from Kentucky. And then he got Moochie Johnson Jr. to come from South Carolina. And he got Micah Parrish from San Diego State. So, and then Bruce Thornton's back. So they should have a lot of good guards and forwards. I'm not sure about center though. Except I guess Bradshaw is 7 foot. Never mind. He is more of a center than a forward. But so we'll see. I don't know. A lot of people had them 7th or 6th in projections I've seen, but Diebler's got to prove it to me on a consistent basis first before I'm going to put them that high.
They did play good basketball down the stretch, and they were hot enough, and they probably should have beaten Illinois in the quarterfinal game, and then they get Nebraska. Who knows? Maybe if Ohio State would have got Sunday, they would have been in. But I'm still fairly shocked they stuck with Diebler as their head coach, and I wouldn't be surprised if they struggle this year if he's gone after just one full season.
Really?
That's my thought on it, because I mean that's like the least I could have possibly feared. I mean, they could have done so many more things to get a guy that's not, a guy who was part of a failed head coach and Chris Holtmann. But again, they did play good basketball down the stretch. I think Bruce Thornton's a really good point guard. I just don't think they'll be that good. I think the shine is kind of worn off, so that's why I have them 10th.
Number 10, I got the Iowa Hawkeyes.
I have Iowa finishing 9th.
Okay.
So, Peyton Sandfort, Josh Dix, Owen Freeman return. Sandfort's a dark horse for player of the year because I think he can really shoot the heck out of it. They do get transferred from Morehead State, Drew Thelwell, who had 10 points and 6 assists per game last year. Seydou Traore from Manhattan, who had 12 and 8 last season. I think Fran's a pretty solid coach, and they were real close to making the NCAA tournament.
If he can hold his temper.
Last year. If he can hold his temper. But they need Peyton Sandfort to be an NBA caliber guy, because he almost left because he was a projected draft pick due to his size and ability to shoot. And he's got one of the quickest releases I've ever seen in the Big Ten play. So they need him to be an absolute stud this year.
And I will go on record. I think the Big Ten only gets 7 teams in the tournament.
I think Purdue, Illinois, UCLA, IU, Oregon. I'm going to throw Michigan in there, and I will throw. I'll throw Rutgers and then get them in there. I think Michigan State misses it for the first time in forever.
That wouldn't hurt my feelings, but I just think the Big Ten's going to be down a little bit this year, especially on the teams we're going to start talking about here. The bottom half of the conference, I think, is going to be pretty weak, especially the bottom four. Okay, we covered 9 and you covered 10. Number 11, I got Wisconsin.
I have Wisconsin finishing 12th. I have Maryland at 11.
I got Maryland 12.
Okay.
So,
yeah. As far as Maryland goes, Julian Reese comes back, Angel Reese's brother. Point guard Jacoby Gillespie from Belmont takes over for Jameer Young, who was really, really good for a team that did not score many points. But Gillespie had 17 points per game, 4 assists per game last year, 38% from 3. Big year for Kevin Willard, though. I think he'll start.
Big year, third year. Yep.
If he doesn't make the tourney this year, and on paper, I don't think they do.
Yeah. It'll be interesting. He's done little with a lot of talent. I feel like, in Maryland in his time.
Which is, I mean, that was the case with the former guy too, whose name is escaping me.
Turgeon, Mark
Turgeon. Mark Turgeon.
Yeah. He looked like a turtle. Snapper. That's mean to me. I don't have anything else to add on Maryland. Wisconsin, I was scared to put them here because it feels like we're low on them every year, and then they surprise us every year.
Yeah, they do lose their point guard, Chucky Hepburn, to Louisville.
Thank God.
Their stud, A.J. Storr, to Kansas. But they did get transfer Xavier Amos from NIU, averaged 14-6 last year. Cameron Hunter from Central Arkansas missed last year, but averaged 17 points a game in 2023. Need a huge sophomore lead from John Blackwell, who played pretty well for them in February last year.
Who do you got finishing 13th?
I have Nebraska.
I got Nebraska 16th. So
you're low on them. They did lose Tominaga. And I thought that was a fluky season last year anyway. But losing Tominaga, they do get Rink Mass, Bryce Williams, Juwan Gary back from last year's tourney team. They get transfers Connor Esigian from Wisconsin, who had a great freshman year. And then the past couple years, he just did nothing at Wisconsin. Gavin Griffiths, the guy with the specs from Rutgers, he's also transferring there. Andrew Morgan from North Dakota State, he was 6'10", 13 points a game, good shooter. So maybe after I've talked myself into being low on them, then they should be.
My number 13 is Northwestern.
I have them 14th.
14th. Boo Booey's finally gone.
Yeah, their best player in their history.
Thank goodness. But Brooks Barnizer's back. I just heard they don't think he's going to play tonight.
He's banged up.
Should be back soon. Then you got Ty Berry, Nick Martelli, Matthew Nicholson. They've been there for a little while. But I think it's really going to come down to this Fairfield transfer, Jalen Leach, who's going to be their point guard. So, if he's halfway decent, they'll probably be halfway decent.
Yeah. 16 points a game, 4 rebounds, 3 assists last year at Fairfield, shot 35% from 3. If you can just be half of what Boo Buie did, was there, they should be okay.
I don't think he'll be as clutch as Boo Buie. That dude.
Definitely not. Yeah.
Made buckets. We both know that all too well. So, okay, you had Northwestern 14th. Who do you have 15th?
I have Penn State 15th.
I have Penn State 15th as well.
Ace Baldwin returns. That's about all I got, though. Good passer, scrappy, best on-ball defender in the conference, probably led in steals anyway. Per game.
Nick Kern Jr. is back. This second year for Mike Rhodes. But they got a guy named, they got 2 transfers here. Freddie DeLon the fifth, I believe. He led minutes and blocks last year at Tennessee. God, I do not remember him in the Elite Eight game though. Then they got a guy, I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name, out in Northern Illinois. So,
yeah. Another
rim protector, supposedly. So, at 14th, I had USC at 14th.
Okay, I have them 16th. So
Musselman's there now.
Yeah, must bus.
He should get a lot of talent out there. They got 11 new transfers.
Yeah. Desmond Claude from Xavier had 16, 4, and 3 last year at Xavier. Is probably the most notable. Musk could get talent to Arkansas. He's going to get it to LA.
Yeah. Well, Calipari get to Arkansas too now.
That's a good point.
That's a different reason. I don't have much else to add on them. So I was hoping Bronny Jr. would stick around for another year so we could talk about him. But he's getting minutes for the Lakers. So
insignificant minutes, as it should be. She should be in the G League.
Still getting minutes. Who
Nepotism.
did you say who he had 16th?
USC.
USC, and I had Nebraska. So we're down to 17th already, I think.
Yeah. I have Washington.
I got Washington as well.
New head coach Danny Sprinkle, led by Utah State transfer great Ozabor, who was good at Utah State. And he was kind of the first guy I heard as far as NIL numbers thrown around, where it was like upwards of 2 million. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, Zach Edey ate his lunch up in the
He
NCAA
did.
tournament, but I mean,
he was
guys.
an undersized big guy too.
Yeah, but,
good at Utah State.
Yep, and then last we both have Minnesota.
Yeah, ravaged by
depleted.
Yeah, ravaged by the portal. You have Pharrell Payne that went to Texas A&M, Elijah Hawkins to Texas Tech, Joseph Olajoseph to Kansas, or to Cal, not Kansas. Dawson Garcia and Mike Mitchell Jr. do return. Lost Cam Christie to the NBA. Man, I feel bad for their head coach out there.
What's his name?
Name's escaping me. I can see him.
I can see him. Yep.
We're professional podcast hosts.
From Xavier. That's gonna eat at me. I could just.
What is his? Why? This is embarrassing. I am embarrassed. I should have written it down.
That's
Minnesota.
Ben Johnson.
Ben Johnson. It's such a.
I couldn't get there.
Name too.
Couldn't even get there.
No,
couldn't even get there.
I can see him, but
yeah. So, well, it's gonna be a fun season. Big Ten basketball always is, and tonight we'll be talking about it from going forward through March, maybe even into April if somebody makes it that far. So, which I don't think any Big Ten team will, but you never know.
Yeah, maybe this will be the year somebody does, and they actually win it.
I was gonna say Purdue did make it to April last year, and technically Illinois did too, right? Wasn't it April or was it March? No, that was March.
I think it was the third. Yeah, it was
30th.
30th.
Because Purdue played on Eastern 31st.
Yeah.